Magicians are always looking for ways to strengthen their routines. So today what I'm going to show you is how a new principle called the CATO-Odd principle can greatly strengthen a first Gilbreth principle routine. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I have two 26 packet cards that alternate red-black throughout, okay? And that's the kind of thing you need for a first Gilbreth principle routine. Okay, so let me just show you the classic routine, or at least one rendition of it. So for this principle, if you have this alternating packet, we call it a cyclic packet. Now because of that, you can actually cut the packet anywhere that you like. It won't hurt that characteristic. Or more powerfully, you can perform something called the shadowy shuffle. Okay, and that one's worth learning. I'll add a link in the description below. Okay, but for this principle, what you need to do is count to the table any number of cards whatsoever. It doesn't matter. The spectator decides, like, stop right there. Great. And then we're going to perform anything equivalent to a riffle shuffle. Well, this rosette shuffle, where you spin the cards, is equivalent to a riffle shuffle. So if you just bring these together, the first Gilbreth principle guarantees that something very surprising happens. Namely, each pair of cards taken from the top will consist of a red and a black in some order. Now we won't know the order, but it's guaranteed to be the case that there's a red-black pair all the way down. Okay? So that is the conclusion for a first Gilbreth principle performance. Okay, so what I'm showing you today is something I've promoted recently on my channel. It's called the CATO-Odd principle. So once again, we have the same kind of alternating packet. So this is cyclic. So you could have the spectator randomly cut it, that's fine, or actually perform shadowy shuffles, that's great. Okay, so what is this CATO-Odd principle? And I'm adding a link in the description below that will explain this principle in detail and give you several powerful card routines using this new principle. Okay, so what is this new principle? Well, it involves pushing off any odd number of cards and flipping them, following that with a random cut. Okay, so it's like random cut, flip 3, random. So we'll flip 3 again here, random cut. Now, of course, 3 is not the only odd number. The number 1 is actually odd, so you can flip just one of them if you would like. Random cut, we could actually flip 5 of these if you choose to. 3 is probably the easiest to do, just because the packets get kind of large. Random cut, flip 3, or 1, and the spectator decides this. I'm not deciding these. I'm just, going with whatever the spectator says. 1, 3, 5, whatever the number might be. Okay? And so once you've done that sufficiently, you can actually have the spectator come in here and cut it wherever they would like. Complete the cut. Okay? And now we're going to perform a Gilbreth shuffle, just as we did here. This is where you reverse count any number of cards that you like that. And then you just riffle shuffle these together, or rosette. We're going to do a rosette shuffle, okay? And then you just, you bring those together. They're going to bump up against each other sometimes. Okay. So what's the conclusion in this case, considering all of that pre-mixing that we did with these cards face up, face down? Well, it ends up that it doesn't change the conclusion of the Gilbreth principle, okay? Namely, it should be the case that each pair of cards taken from the top will consist of a red and a black in some order. Now, once again, we won't know the order. Okay, so we have a black and a red. That looks good. Red, black, red, black. What about here? Black, red. Yes. Same thing here. Looks good. What about over here? Yep. Red, black. Yep. One of each, one of each, one of each there, one of each there. What about this queen? Is this black? It is indeed. And what about the 9 here? this should be black, and it is. Okay. So what this CATO-Odd principle allows you to do is perform powerful premixing of an alternating packet that you plan to use in a Gilbreth performance. And it very much gives the impression that the cards are tremendously well mixed before you even perform the Gilbreth shuffle of dealing out about half the cards and then riffle shuffling or rosette shuffling those together. So I just wanted to give you kind of a real-world application of this new principle and encourage you to take a look at the link in the description below to learn about this principle, because this is just one of countless applications of this CATO-Odd principle. So thank you for watching, and take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.